Fire them away.
What's the to-do list on defense this spring? What are your points of emphasis with these guys?
Uh, we'll start off with just, as a group, um, discipline. I thought going back and just kind of hitting over the season, I thought we gave up too many big plays. So I thought we played hard. At times we played smart, but to me, we just need to, stop so many big plays as far as that. To me, it was either great defense or really bad defense. And so we need to just cut, just as far as the big plays, the 80-yard runs or the 40-yard runs and all that type of stuff. So
you got so many guys back that were key players last year. You're coming off a Fiesta Bowl win. I mean, how do you kind of motivate these guys or get that chip back on their shoulder on defense this year?
Well, the motivation is our goal is to be the number one defense in the conference, and we weren't the number one defense in the conference. So, if guys are feeling good about themselves or feeling like we've arrived as a defense, then we didn't reach our goal. And so our number one goal is to be the best defense in our conference, and we weren't there. And so to me, these guys know that. I think they have that chip on their shoulder. I think they know that we're a better defense, probably what we played as a whole last year. We had some games where we played really well. We had some games we didn't play well. And so, a few games here and there where you give up some points can affect you for your whole season, right, as far as your point total. And so our goal is we want to be under, we want our scoring defense to be under 20 points a game, and we didn't do that. And so, the object is to get our offense the ball often and to limit the opponent, their points.
You guys have been pretty clear you want to put a fifth defensive back out there. Who's going to sort of start out in the mix at that nickel spot? What kind of guys are you looking at there?
Mercy Matson to start off there, and behind him will be Cam Miles. So we'll start off with those two there.
Yeah, that's a corner and a safety, so kind of can be one or the other. Just in terms of the body type, you can kind of go either way there.
Right, and to me, I wouldn't even put him as corner or safety. To me, that's a guy that can cover on a slot receiver, can blitz, play man to man. It's kind of both of them in one, and so they're both over 200 pounds right now, and so we need a guy that can hold up in the box if they're trying to run the ball. And then can also, if I need him, on the slot receiver, he can hold up there. Coverage.
You don't have Chance back out there yet, so who's going to be kind of fighting for that other safety spot?
Dylan Sumner Gardner, and we have some other young guys that have, battled. So we'll see who'll win that battle. But he's a guy right now that we think, he should be the guy to win it, and we'll see if he can do it.
Both JUCO guys that you brought in, are those both guys you're expecting to, I don't know if impact's the right word, but play significant snaps for you?
Raymond Ford, yes, and Cam Miles, yes. Whenever you bring in guys like that, especially when they get here for spring, you're hoping that they can help you out, in the fall sometimes. And so having those guys now where they get to, they're going through winter condition and lift weights, and they go through spring ball, and then they'll go through summer. So they should be ahead of the curve as far as a guy. They should be ahead of a curve from having this time to kind of, be here for us.
Got that crazy depth at defensive line. How are you going to sort through, finding? I mean, you could find 8 guys there and probably still not have some guys who have a lot of experience here.
That's Steve Caldwell's job, so I'll let him figure that out. But we'll figure it out. I mean, to me, you can never have too many D linemen, and you can never have too many DBs, right? Because it starts up front and then it ends with the back end. And so, we need some depth there. I think if you can get 8 to 10 guys up front, and keep them fresh. Like I said, when I was at A&M and SEC, that's the one thing I learned is you have to rotate those guys up front, and keep them fresh. So when you get into the fourth quarter, they're playing. And so hopefully, right, we have that depth.
Deuce, a guy we've heard about around here for 2 years, rumblings about how good he could be.
Right.
And yet we've never seen him because he hasn't played in a game.
Right.
Well, how good is that guy?
Like you said, we haven't seen him play in the game. And so what we see from him, we think he can be pretty good. But, hopefully he will be pretty good, right? I'm hoping for it. And so, but he's just a guy that does everything right. I mean, he's smart. He shows up every day to work. And for him to go through what he's gone through and still show up every day to work, but that kind of speaks for what type of player he is. So it still remains to be seen.
See some urgency or excitement in him, knowing that he's actually going to get to go out and compete and play this year?
He's so even keel. He just kind of keeps his face, and he just goes out every day and works. So, hopefully we can see him play, here real soon in the game.
Linebacker, with Tanner, moving back to more traditional linebacker. I mean, you only got 2 spots now at linebacker and 4 or 5 guys that played a lot last year. I mean, are we going to see more kind of rotation there, kind of like last year, or how do you see the linebacking group playing out?
Yes, and that's the goal, is to get more depth. Because the thing with football is you're going to have injuries. I mean, so when you only have 2 or 3 guys at one spot, then and you have injuries, and now you only have 2 guys at those spots, it kind of hurts your football team, right? Because you're one injury away from being down. And so, we want to be 2 deep in Mike, if not 3 deep in Mike, and then it will, right? We want to be at least 2, so we can have those guys rotate, all right, to keep those guys fresh.
Schedule came out the other day. Did you design this bye-week option team thing to help you out? What did you think when you saw that?
I was hoping they weren't even on the schedule, but they're there. So, it is what it is. I mean, I'll study the option all off season, and we'll study it as a staff, and but that probably does help to have them back to back, because the hardest thing I think is to go from playing an option team to a spread team or a hurry up type team. So playing them week to week can either be a good thing or it can end up being a bad thing. All right, so we'll see how that works out for us, but we'll get it fixed.
How do you look at the other corner spot? Obviously, you have Dante, and then you have Moxie and some other guys there, but you lose a couple guys, Douglas and Page and stuff. How do you kind of shape up the candidates kind of at the other corner spot?
We'll see. We have a couple kids here now that'll play for us, and then we have some kids that'll be here in the fall. But I think at some point somebody's going to have to play that's not here right now in the fall. And whoever that is, with it being, it obviously, if they're going to be here in the fall, it's going to be someone who's young. So we're going to have some youth there to build up some depth. I think if there's any position that a guy can play young, it's at that corner position, because you're not asking him to, if you can run, have that speed, then you'll be okay to play that position. So we'll see how it'll be in the fall.
How was Moxie's season for you? He kind of, sort of quietly started 13 games.
Right.
What did he do for you last year?
I thought he started off kind of slow, and then as he played more, he became better. And it was a few games there where teams were going at him a lot, and he kind of played well. But I thought, as the season went on, he played better.
Speaking of some of the corners that'll be here in the fall, some of those guys played on both sides of the ball in high school. Is that something you guys look for? Someone who plays offense and defensive ball skills? They're big guys too, 5'11", 6 foot.
Right. We're looking for guys with good feet and good hips, and so usually the guys that have good feet and good hips that can run, right? You want to get them the ball on offense, and so it I don't think we look for that necessarily, but it just so happens that those were the guys that we like, and they played offense and and defense. So most of the time now, your skilled guys are the ones that's going to return kicks for you, return punts and stuff like that. And so we feel like we got some guys that can do, hopefully do them all for us.
Is Dion hoping to maybe return some punts again? He had the one to the house last year. Something seems like he enjoys. Is that something he's going to want to try and do again?
I'm sure he is. Knowing him, yes, he wants to return punts. So we'll see how that goes.
You got Darian and Dante in the back end, and sort of that leadership role on defense this year. What do you need out of those guys through spring and summer, and just sort of the leadership side of the game?
Just to take control of it, and I don't think there's one guy on our side of the ball that can do it, because Deuce hasn't played, but I think he's a leader. Horn's a leader. Tanner Vallejo's a leader, you know, and so I don't think it's just one guy who's going to be, you know, our leader. I think that it'll be as a whole.
Those two been so productive for you.
Right.
Are there, you know, holes they're still trying to patch in their game, or something you give them this spring and say, hey, this can take you to the next level of your game? Or?
You know what? When a player or a coach gets to the point that they don't have anything to get better at, then we probably need to get out of the profession and stop playing football, because there's always something that we can get better at. Those two are good players for us, but there's still things they need to improve on, you know. And so between me and Coach Brown, we'll sit down with those guys, or we've already sat down with them and kind of went over what they need to do to take their game to the next level. You know, and they see it. These guys or these players, you know, I don't know if it's our culture here or what, but they are hard on themselves as far as watching film and knowing exactly what they need to do to, you know, to keep getting better.
Rondell McNair, can you speak about how his transition from JUCO to you guys last year to where he's at now?
Right.
What do you expect out of him this year?
A guy that's going to play for us, you know, that was talked about this morning, that he's a player that we need to get him ready and to go in the game and play, you know, a certain amount of snaps for us to help us win, you know. And he's a guy, you know, the first thing when you think about it, most junior college guys, you don't expect them, or you expect them to take some time to kind of get going, you know, and he was a guy to come here in the summer and actually to play for us during the season kind of speaks to him a little bit, you know. And so but he's a guy that's athletic, he can run, so, you know, we need to get him on the field.
I know you said you thought you did okay some games, calling plays, some games not so well. I mean, now that you've had that time the last couple of months to kind of go back and look at things, I guess how much more comfortable do you feel going into spring ball and your system and what you want to see this year, I guess? I'm
just happy about our D staff. It didn't change. There's no changes, so we're all together. So that gives us a chance to kind of understand each other, you know, and how we coach and how we fit things and how we call things. And so I'm excited about that. As far as me, you know, I need to get better. You know, I have a better understanding now of how I want to call the game and how I want our defense to look. I know our players. I know our strengths. You know, I thought towards the end of the season I had a better feel for who can do what, you know, and so I kind of caught the game to our strength a little bit. And you know, I'm excited just to get our numbers back on the back end. You know, that hurt us last year, not being able to have that extra DB on the field, which limited what I could call on the field. And so I'm excited to get back to our 4-2-5, you know, and see exactly, you know, how good we can be.
What does that open up for you?
You can play more man-to-man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when you think about it, we were playing spread teams in a 4-3 defense. And so, and the guy that was actually our Sam linebacker played very well, so I'm not knocking him at all. Trust me, he was the MVP of our bowl game. And so, but to get him back at Mike linebacker now, and now to bring in another DB, you have more speed on the field, so now you can play against those spread teams. You know what I mean? And he likes the Mike linebacker position. That's what he wants to play. And so we are excited to get him back at Mike linebacker.
Next question.
Thank you. This is yours.